Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode of Let's Pause to Listen. Normally we would have a look on one particular game soundtrack, but today we're going just a little bit over the top. I'm going to present to you a total of 5 video game soundtracks, 4 of which were composed and produced by the Danish mastermind Jesper Kyd. It was this game series that made him famous to acoustic gourmets and enabled his international breakthrough with the first installment already. Of course I'm talking about Hitman.
Next to Metal Gear Solid's Snake and Splinter Cell's Sam Fisher, Agent 47 also became one of the most iconic stealth game characters on the market. The bald and well-dressed bringer of death to drug dealers, mafia bosses and other money-hungry criminals showed us his signature barcode tattoo on the back of his head for the first time at the end of the year 2000. With the series' first installment, Hitman Codename 47, the recipe for awesome gameplay was introduced to us and it contained 4 ingredients. Get in, finish your job, get out, don't get noticed. As simple as this may sound, it's rather not if you are going for the stealthy approach. On the other hand, shooting your way through a level isn't easy either, especially in the first game. So you basically walk through all these levels with one thing on your mind, your target. In this case, your target is a human being who has led a very naughty lifestyle and your objective is to end said life. The goal is to perform and execute a hit on a person. That's pretty rough and dark if you think about it, but it is so awesome to be Agent 47 and to enjoy this game and soundtrack. And the music is so unbelievably good and works so perfectly for one good reason. Jesper Kyd, the man who is also responsible for the music of Assassin's Creed and Borderlands, for example. That dude is one of the best in the business. The sheer spectrum and variety of his music is enormous due to the usage of a large number of different music styles and sounds. He uses classical elements as much as synthesizers, vocals, just anything that makes a sound when you touch it. You can tell by listening that he has loads of fun experimenting with basically anything that sends out sound waves until he's satisfied with the result.
With this, he creates not just tracks, but rather acoustic atmospheres packed with sounds and melodies that suck you right into the game. It's this power of immersion that makes your gaming experience with Hitman that much deeper.
Let's have a closer look on the soundtracks of each game in order from Codename 47 to Absolution. The first game is the shortest because it has the smallest number of missions and therefore doesn't need the biggest soundtrack. It includes 12 titles, 4 of which are early demos or altered versions of the original 8 tracks. And some of these 8 tracks are the longest in the entire series. The reason for their length is the way Jesper Kyd composed these themes. A few of those tracks are called themes, plural, because he combined the non-alert and the alert version of the themes into one big track. What you hear depends on the situation in which you are currently in, but the music is all from the one mission relevant track. As soon as you start the game, the main title music comes out of the speakers. It doesn't get any cooler than this. This smooth sound barely reveals the seriousness of the things you are about to do when you start the first mission. And that's something the Hitman games always get right. Most of their opening music is perfectly inviting and reflects the general theme and tone of each game. They announce the acoustic treat you are in for next to the entertaining gaming experience. Some of the tracks of Codename 47 really stand out, like the jungle exploration. If you ever played this mission, you know that it's the worst of the entire game. It just sucks. But this track saves the level with its intoxicating ambience. Jungle-reminiscent percussions, some sort of synthesizer sounds, and a South American panpipe melody create a formidable atmosphere. In some of the longer tracks, there are times where not much is happening musically, which is fine because they still serve as a nice background, and it doesn't have to be full-on action all the time. But then the magic happens and some unforgettable music comes out. In this case, it's the tracks called themes, like hotel themes, harbor themes, or hospital themes.
Maybe the gameplay mechanics haven't aged as well as with the following games, but nevertheless the music is timeless. There's a huge shift that occurred in the next game, Silent Assassin.
Symphonic choir? Symphonic orchestra? Oh, heck yeah. Jesper Kyd goes all in on this one. Never have I seen a musical upgrade like this from one game to another. For this soundtrack, Kyd didn't only use his computer and keyboards, but an entire symphonic orchestra. The music was recorded with the Budapest Symphony Orchestra and the Hungarian Radio Choir, and it was conducted by Béla Drahos. This game is huge and has a lot of missions, and this calls for a lot of music. And like I said before, the intros reflect the themes of the game. In the story of Silent Assassin, Agent 47 lives in an abbey in Sicily, and his mentor Father Vittorio gets kidnapped, so he spends the entire game on a search for the Padre. The fact that the first track is a requiem is no surprise then, right? The really cool thing about this soundtrack is the feel of an actual movie soundtrack. The missions are in different parts of the world, and that's why the music is full of ethnic diversity. But Jesper Kyd doesn't achieve this with exotic instruments, but rather with musical elements who are stereotypical for the respective region. For instance, the track Mission in India. For example, you can hear chimes and flutes which are in every ordinary orchestra, but they use harmonic minor scales which are a trademark of the Orient. What I like very much are the tracks Arabian Dance and Desert Sun. Those two seem to be inspired by the movies The Mummy and The Mummy Returns, whose soundtracks were composed by Jerry Goldsmith and Alan Silvestri. They also have this drive for an adventure in the desert like the music from the movies has. It's the same kind of atmosphere, and to me it's pure fun to play these missions with this soundtrack. Although most of the music is orchestral, the most dominant track is a synthesizer-based one. Jesper Kyd goes back to the roots with the track Exploration, and I have to say this is my favorite one of this game. The smooth feeling when you listen to this and you slowly walk Agent 47 through a level and no enemy is suspecting anything. That's what makes this game so special to me. In this track, as in many others, there is something that you can label as a little trademark thing of Jesper Kyd. He likes to start new sections of a track offbeat, which is really cool. The element of surprise is vital in music. It spices it up and makes great music even better. You don't have to do it, but he uses that element in his music formidably. With the entire soundtrack of Silent Assassin, Kyd has proven to the world that he can compose basically anything, and such an all-rounder is very rare. And with the next installment of the series, he showed that he can get pretty dark as well. The next game that came out in 2004 was Contracts, which was a little disappointing to a lot of gamers because it was full of mission remakes from Hitman Codename 47, like the missions in Hong Kong, Netherlands Harbors and Budapest. But it still is a good game, and boy oh boy does this one turn the lights off. Literally, there's no mission in daylight. They all take place at night or early evening, accompanied with bad weather, either rain or snow. Is there any place for happy or positive tunes? Nope. Away with the orchestra and the choir and back to the synthesizer sound. And this soundtrack gets as creepy and weird as the game sometimes does. It's backwards tunes like these right out of nowhere that gives you the creeps and let you feel the insanity of levels like the Sanitarium Escape or the Slaughter Club. I mean, just listen to this screamer-like sound.
That is creepy as hell.
With the Slaughter Club, Jesper Kyd captures the atmosphere of the level just perfectly. The party where all these weirdos have their nasty gathering in a slaughterhouse, for crying out loud, is pretty creepy. But it still is a party, therefore Kyd made some sort of club music that starts very calm, but gets bigger and louder over the entire length of the almost 9 minutes. Just like the level, the sound is dark and weird, but it has a great groove. The only sad thing is that you can hear it the best when you get near the dance floor, which of course makes sense, but the more you get away from there, the more it fades away. But not all tracks are scary, they can be a little weird, but still pretty awesome, like Hong Kong Underground, my favorite track of this game. It has some oriental guitar sounds and 2 different flutes, and the way they play reminds me more of an Arabian area than Southeast Asia. Although the sound is slightly missing the target, it still fits the overall tone of the soundtrack. It is slow and mysterious, and it is a hell of a lot fun to sneak around with this music in your ears.
To sum up the soundtrack of Contracts in a few words: mysterious, dark, and weird. And the word weird is even an understatement for something I discovered by accident. Just have a look on this footage of the slaughterhouse and try to listen to the soundtrack.
Did you hear that barely audible backward sound? I had a slight suspicion of what that was, but I wasn't sure. Let's have it one more time, but this time backwards. Right, it's the track 47 Attacks. From this game? No, it's from the next game. It's from Hitman Bloodmoney. I couldn't believe my ears. How did it get there 2 years before Bloodmoney came out? This has an awesome effect on those who played Contracts again after they've played Bloodmoney.
It seems that Jesper Kyd must have composed this track for Hitman Contracts already, but the tone of the track didn't suit this game as well as it did the next one.
Hitman Bloodmoney is the next glorious game of the series, and in this one the soundtrack starts with something that wasn't even composed for this game. It begins with the main menu, and what you can see is some sort of church where a funeral is being held. The scenery is accompanied with a world-famous air called Ave Maria that the Austrian composer Franz Schubert wrote in 1825. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. It says at the end of the Hail Mary prayer that is sung here. Quite suitable, wouldn't you agree? After a little detour to the Austrian composer, we returned to his Danish peer, who started to use a real orchestra again in Bloodmoney, but not in the same way he did in Silent Assassin. The sound that we can enjoy in this game is the most matured, complete and fully grown music I have heard in a stealth game. No more messing around, no more experiments. To me, it sounds like Kyd knew what he wanted to compose and what he was going for before he ever wrote down one note. All of the tracks are musically and acoustically polished to near perfection. What's so great about the soundtracks of Silent Assassin, Contracts and especially in Bloodmoney is that it kinda makes you play even more stealthy, because as long as you keep Agent 47 calm, the music will not change. I always had the need to keep them going, that's why I tried to maneuver 47 as far away from the guards as possible. Let's listen to the track Amp Zone for a moment. What this sound is describing is the silent death that is 47. Calm, focused, dangerous. It starts out quietly with mysterious vocals and percussion and adds a new musical element every 2 bars. It keeps building up like this, but it still stays calm. It is a sonic presentation of how Agent 47 is coming closer and closer to his victim with all his ghost-like skills. No one notices him, no one gets alarmed. If this magnificent sound doesn't get you to slow your roll, keep your silver ballers holstered, and sneak the living hell out of this game, I don't know what will. A similar effect brings the track Before the Storm, but this one does not stay as calm. It bursts out in crescendos in the strings and trumpet section. Oh man, I'm not even sure if this is the right music for a game like this. The track Vegas is the most relaxing and cool one of the whole soundtrack. Here we get back to the ambience and atmosphere Jesper Kyd can create, which is incomparable with another soundtrack. This much Hitman and chill, and you don't want to leave the game anymore. And if you screw up, then it's trouble in Vegas. High-paced percussion combined with a slow and soft synthesizer melody. A wonderful way of getting some acoustic action to the dangerous situation you are in when you hear this music. And now we are finally coming to the last Hitman game for this video, which is sad because the talk about music ends here. It seems like this game has as much lovers as haters. Many gamers welcome the new and linear approach of this game, but that is exactly what others do not appreciate. For them, this is a huge step away from what they call a Hitman game. Me personally, I actually don't mind this different style of gameplay. I do understand the critique of the naysayers, but I think that it is never too bad to try something new. And the good thing is, despite everything else, to me the game does not suck that much.
For me, there's another deal breaker though that makes it not a typical Hitman game. No melodies, no acoustical atmosphere, no memorable themes, no Jesper Kyd. Why? The developers didn't even ask him. Absolution was the first game that was published by Square for the first time, and somehow nobody thought of asking Kyd for the job. They just went ahead and did it with some other guys.
The music was written by Thomas Berchi as the main composer, Jesper Kyd, Peter, and Dynamedion. And sorry guys, but the soundtrack is... And I really don't get why. I mean, most of the tracks are there to induce some suspension, thrill and action, and they do that well. But that's already it. The only thing there that you can remember is that big ass fart noise. And that's it. I really don't understand this, because Berchi actually did a fine job on Far Cry 1, for example. I don't want to spread any hate or whatnot, it's just not cutting it for me. Maybe there are reasons for that, like not enough time or whatever, but the main reason is Jesper Kyd's not doing it. It feels like replacing Rowan Atkinson for the role of Mr. Bean with somebody else, and that would never work. But let's end this video with positive thoughts. Gameplay and missions wise, Bloodmoney is my favorite game of the Hitman series. Soundtrack wise, I can't make up my mind. With the exclusion of Absolution, I love all of these soundtracks differently but equally. This vast amount of styles and variety of the music that Kyd was capable to deliver over all these years is astonishing, and it satisfies that one specific criteria that makes it true video game music excellence for me. When it is so good that you want to buy it and listen to it without playing the game. Certainly you are asking yourselves why I didn't include the 6th Hitman game, and the reason is simple, because it is not completely out yet, and if I wanted to review its soundtrack I would want to check it in its entirety and not episode by episode.
This concludes my Hitman video. I hope you enjoyed it and that you have as much fun with the soundtracks as I do. Please leave me your comments and likes, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel to stay updated for some more soundtrack reviews to come. I will see you guys again very soon, and until that time, thank you for listening.